Hi everyone, it's Travis, Pagan Scholar, and this is a life update video. I don't know what kind of video this is. I just realized I hadn't made a video since October, and I wanted to fill you in on what was going on and let you know what I plan to do. So if you follow me on other forms of social media, you know that I took part in NaNoWriMo, that's National Novel Writing Month. And essentially, during November, you challenge yourself to write 50,000 words in 30 days. And I did it. It was a challenge, as it was any other time that I've tried to do it. I know there are other videos on my channel that I've talked about NaNoWriMo, and it was really cool and validating to complete 50,000 words. However, the goal of NaNoWriMo is to write a novel in the month of November, National Novel Writing Month. And a novel I did not write. I wrote 50,000 words of stuff, and it kind of aligns with a story, but I wouldn't even call this a first draft. It's like a meta draft of a first draft. And that's one of the things that's been really difficult for me in terms of being creative and in terms of producing things, is when I create something, I want to be able to see a finished product when I'm done. And I know that writing a novel requires many drafts, but I feel like I've sort of failed in the first draft goal, essentially. And I've set it aside, my weird horror story that I wrote or started to write, but I'll look at it again in January with fresh eyes. But that's been one of the things that's been kind of making me sort of disillusioned and grumpy. I'm always disillusioned and grumpy, but essentially that's what the majority of my creativity and mental thought went into in November. October was good. Samhain was unremarkable. I know that a very famous YouTuber in our community passed, and I wish that I was better aware of her channel, but I came into YouTube after Tiptoe Chick had sort of stepped away from YouTube. So she wasn't as integral to my YouTube Pagan experience, but I know that the community had a lot of things to say, an outpouring of grief and memory and solidarity and things like that, and so I didn't comment on that situation because I felt I did not have, it was not my place to say anything about her passing. Anyways, and then it's December now, so we went from November to October to December, and what am I doing? I wish I knew. Oh God, if only I had a sense of purpose. If only we all had a sense of purpose. But I have been working on a really nerdy project, actually, and it has nothing to do with paganism, not directly. I know this channel is called Pagan Scholar, but I haven't been feeling very scholarly lately. And I haven't been feeling very pagan lately either, but essentially I've been trying to write a game. I know that sounds weird, write a game, but I am really interested in tabletop games, but I don't have any friends that I can play them with, at least not easily. And I talked about this on the channel before. I really enjoy a game called Changeling. So it's D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, is the most popular tabletop gaming platform system, I guess, yeah. And everybody knows about that, everybody makes jokes about that. It's D&D. Changeling takes place in a different gaming system called World of Darkness or Chronicles of Darkness, or it's really convoluted and layered epic of this company of White Wolf, and their more popular game is called Vampire: The Masquerade, and they also have other games that all take place within the same universe. And I actually really identify with this universe. It's almost akin to something like pop culture pantheons, you know. But in this world of darkness, everything is kind of like this fallen, despairing, like disillusioned fantasy. And the world that we live in is kind of fallen and despairing and disillusioned. And this has been a way for me to sort of vent my anxieties and my depression, I guess. I don't have seasonal depression, I just have year-round depression. And the World of Darkness system is actually really cool because all of the supernatural entities that inhabit it, like there's vampires and there's werewolves and there's changelings, which are these creatures of the Fae world, very harmonious with pagan aesthetics. And then there's like mages and some other creatures that I won't get into, but none of the magics that you receive in the game solve your problems. Like, you still have really tough existential problems in these games that the game does not shy away from. In fact, they kind of thrust you into and ask you to solve. And honestly, the reason why I've gravitated towards these games is because I have a lot of existential problems and like trials that I've been trying to get through. And this game kind of it's again like a disillusioned fantasy. It's sort of like it permits wonder, but not at the expense of the anxiety that we feel with our actual very real problems, you know. Like, Harry Potter's great, but I don't have a magic wand to wave and all of my problems disappear. Whereas in these games, you do have a magic wand, but your problems don't disappear. It's just a tool for you to try to solve them. And I know all of the Harry Potter fandom is going to be like, well, magic didn't solve his problems, he still had to deal with it himself. But you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like spirituality and any notion of magic is not going to be the linchpin in solving the predicament of humanity, of the situation that we have been thrust into, that we never were asked to be thrust into, but still we have to deal with it. And if there is any sort of form or system or energetic pattern that we can manipulate the world around us with, I still think that we still have a lot of pressing and existential questions that magic is not going to be able to solve or answer. And that's why I like these games. That's very roundabout way of discussing what I've been doing. But in December this month, I've been cultivating a game because I finally have a couple of friends that have agreed to meet up and potentially might want to indulge me in my existential crises alongside fantasy. Yeah. I have also been considering just starting a different channel, actually, altogether, because I don't know if this channel has outlived its purpose. I mean, I'm looking for work still. I have a job, but it is not ideal, and it's not what I thought I would be doing. And there's some growing moments and lessons to be had there, but also I thought that I would be much more scholarly when I started this channel like 3-4 years ago, and my life path has not led that direction, and maybe it's time to be somebody else, to not be Pagan Scholar, but just be something else. I wanted to reach out to everybody, let you know I was still around, that I still wanted to create content. It's just I'm kind of in this intellectual, ideological identity quarry problem where I don't really know what kind of content I want to produce. I want to contribute to this community. I want to see it grow and flourish, and I want to be a part of that. But yeah, it's kind of tough. I've actually recorded a couple of videos since my last video that I posted, but I just haven't posted them because I don't feel like they're either relevant or would be received by the community. But I just didn't release it because I don't know, ennui, boredom, existential dread of all of the involvement that comes with making a statement on the internet. I just wanted to make this video, let people know what I was doing, that I was still alive, and that I want to contribute to this community. I just don't know how I want to contribute. So yeah, to recap, imposter syndrome with writing, an underwhelming sense of spirituality during Samhain and Yule, and capitalism crushes my soul, and I escape into fantasy worlds through a really nerdy avenue, but it brings me joy, and it's a pressure release valve for all of the anxiety and all of the feelings that I have about the contemporary world and spirituality and how they all intersect and my place in it. So, with a very kind of Freud and weird farewell, merry meet. I mean, I promise you, like, I'm not merry. So merry meet, Mary Bart, and yes, I really do want to merry meet you again, and yeah. So if you don't hear from me again before the solstice, a merry Yule to all who observe, a happy solstice, and yeah, merry meet, Mary Bart, and merry meet again.